Practicing Ken Suburi, we start with the Bokken at our left side, the cutting edge facing up. We take the handle with our right hand, turn the Bokken and move into the basic position, Ken Kamae. The left hand is placed at the end of the handle and well connected through the palm. The right hand comes on top of the handle, around a hand width from the left hand. The Bokken or katana is supported from our center so that it follows the movements of our body. When lifting the weapon above our head, we push it from underneath. Pulling it up from the top breaks the connection. Held above our head, the sword creates extension of our center line. We want to be able to look between our elbows. When we strike, we bring our elbows close together and we pull down the sword. We hold the sword directly above our head. When we strike, we first let it drop behind our back and then pull the handle in front of our center line until almost horizontal position. The energy of the cut comes from our center, and we let our hands drop with the sword until they stop in front of our center. We avoid throwing the sword out and passing beyond the horizontal position or forcing it down with our muscles. The cut ends always in front of our center. We can adjust the height of the cut by adjusting the distance at which we step forward. At the end of the cut, we open or slightly turn the hips, which turns the sword at a specific angle. This opening of the hips creates also a forward feeling in our position. In the hanmi position, we can't take directly a step backwards because our other foot is in the way. If we go around the back foot, we risk losing balance. The correct way is to turn the back foot first, opening the heel, and then taking the step backwards. When we drop the sword behind our back, we can imagine passing under an obstacle. When we keep the elbows wide open, we lose the integrity of our movement and the energy coming from our center is dispersed. Keeping the elbows close together helps us to focus all the energy of our body movement into the cut. Same thing in this situation. With the elbows wide open, our cut can be easily blocked, but keeping the elbows close together, we focus all our energy into the cut. Ichi no Ken Suburi, the first movement with the sword, is a simple cut in place. From the hanmi position, we slide our front foot towards the back foot. At the same time, we bring the sword behind our back. Then, we slide the foot forward again and we cut. This movement can be repeated many times without stopping at a fast pace. One of the elements to practice is keeping our shoulders down and relaxed at the end of each cut. The sword drops behind our back, but our hands stay above our head and just in front of our center line. We can also change the hanmi and practice this cut on the other side, but the position of the hands on the handle does not change. In this movement, the feet are drawing the letter T. When we want to change the hanmi, we first bring our feet aside each other and then open the hanmi to the other side. In the Ni-no Suburi, the second movement with the sword, we first take a step back, lifting the sword above our head. Then we step forward, dropping the sword behind our back and finally cutting forward. When we open the heel of our back foot, we start lifting the sword, supporting it from underneath. We keep the sword directly above our head, aligned with our center line. We finish the cut when the sword almost reaches the horizontal position. When we take the step forward, we drop the sword behind our back. While adjusting our back foot, we drop our center and use the energy of this movement to draw the sword down, finishing the cut. San-no Suburi, the third movement with the sword, is all about coordination of the movement with the breathing and accumulation and release of energy. As we open the heel, we breathe in. While moving backwards, we breathe out, positioning the sword in front of our heart. We lift the sword above our head, breathing in again. We hold our breath while the sword descends to our side. We release the breath, usually with a ki when we cut. This gives the cut a very high energy. Imagine that lifting the sword above our head, we connect to a source of energy and we charge our system. This is symbolized through breathing in. When we hold our breath, moving the sword to the side, we keep this accumulated energy ready to use. When we breathe out with the ki, we release all this energy into the cut. After the step back, the sword is positioned in front of our heart, keeping an energetic space between our arms. When we lift the sword above our head, we keep it aligned with our center line. Moving the sword to our side, we want to hide it from the opponent. We align the sword above our head before we cut. The sword is positioned in front of our center line. When we bring the sword down, we need to open our hips to create the space for the sword. The cutting edge of the sword is facing down. We bring the sword behind our back and then we cut. Our hands have to go above our head, otherwise we risk hitting the head or cutting off our ear. If you like our video, give us a thumb up and share it with your friends. You can also subscribe to receive notifications about new videos being published. More information is available in the channel description as well as through the links section.